What's up guys, Triple C here. Today I'll be doing the stunt test on the Ocelot PARIAH, which is a sports vehicle, and it's kind of unusual that I do a stunt test for a sports car because normally I only do it for all the new supercars, because obviously that's the go-to class for stunt racing. But with this car, it just obviously landed in the wrong class. It's such an OP beast, it's unbelievable. This should have been in the supercar class. It has no business being in a sports car at all because it just demolishes everything in that class. And if it would be a supercar, I watched Brafy's test video, for example, the go-to guy for the lab testing. And what he found in his lab testing is he said if it would be in the super class, it would actually be in 5th place. So this car is quicker around the track than a T20 and an Osiris, for example. On a test track like that he tested on with a lot of sharp turns, maybe also some hairpins in the city, tight short track. But it landed up in the sports class regardless, so we're going to do a stunt test with it. Now, I couldn't test it on all the races I normally test it on because not all those races are open to the sports class. Like I said before, not a lot is being built for sports class in terms of stunt racing. But all the ones that were mine, I went in the creator and altered the race so it was open to sports class. I made a safe copy of it and just have a second version. And the other ones, we're going to take something where we can draw a direct analogy. So yeah, let's jump right into the stunt test. And again, guys, this is only about how it performs on the stunts. It's not about racing in general. So if I give it a fail or if I say not recommended, I'm not talking about how quick it would be around the track. I'm really talking about that specific type of stunt. If it does not do good in steep ascending wall rides, I'm talking about steep ascending wall rides. So even though it might be quicker on the track than a Zentorno T20 Osiris, it might not be better on a steep ascending wall ride. So that's just what we're looking out for in the stunt test and comparing it to the top cars on the respective stunts. So yeah, let's go. Alright, so first up we got the regular container wall ride, and like always it's not the question whether it will wall ride because all cars in the game wall ride with enough speed. We're going to be looking how it reacts to the dummy proof if it wants to go up the container or if it's being guided consistently. Also, we're going to be looking out for the camera if it has a tendency to zoom in on the back of the car because that's a telltale sign that we will get issues later in different types of stunts, in spirals and steep ascending wall rides, stuff like that. Also, one more thing, this is a rear-wheel drive car, two-wheel drive, which normally don't do as well in terms of speed on these stunts, because even if they might go in at a quick speed, they won't maintain that speed going through the stunt all the time. You want four-wheel drive for that. But yeah, on the steering, very consistent. Dummy proof, I saw it had a tendency to want to go up the container a bit, so not very good in that regard. And the speed was also okay, but that is also attributed to the fact that it's just such a quick car. It's like the quickest car in the game, period. So we're entering the wall at such a high speed already that we've got the speed already. Will be interesting to see in the spiral test later on. When we enter it at a low speed, that's where you're going to see the difference maybe to a four-wheel drive car. But yeah, camera also very good, no problem so far. So very consistent, also very easy to steer, even though that's subjective, but for me it was really easy to hold the line here. So let's go on to the next test. Alright, next up we got the steep ascending wall ride, which will be very interesting to see on this car, because traditionally the rear-wheel drive cars do bad on this, because like once they go up the stunt they don't really have that power, they're not maintaining that power, the front wheels aren't helping to get the car up there. So it will be interesting. Wait, I want to go from the respawn also so I don't go in with too high speed. Okay, I'm respawning here. But then again, this car is just so quick in a straight line, it just annihilates everything, that we're going to be entering the stunt at such a high speed already that it might make up for that loss of power, loss of torque that we'll get going up there with two-wheel drive. So let's see what happens. It's going to be really interesting. No, camera, no. And I also saw it did get slower, so that really does show there in the end. The two-wheel drive. If it would have four-wheel drive, it just gets up there. Like this job, for example, also was only open to supers. It's one of my jobs. I was just in the creator and opened it up for all classes just for the sake of this video. I made a second copy of it. and I tested it in the stock T20, and I can tell you the stock T20 did better on this going up there. I didn't lose my view, it maintained its speed all the time, and yeah, no. Okay, so this is exactly where it shows the two-wheel drive, and you can draw a direct analogy to cunning stunt races. If you're going to be driving in the tubes and these big cunning stunt props, if you have a lot of uphill sections, that's where this car will fall back in comparison to the four-wheel drive cars. So yeah, fail on this one. Alright, next, like always, the spiral to overhead wall ride, spiral down wall ride type of thing, where we probably, what we just saw in the steep ascending wall ride, that we're probably going to lose our camera view, which the four-wheel drive cars do much better on. But also a car like the X80 Proto, for example. Yeah, here we go, we're blind, as expected, and we completely lost power also there. I thought I would save it. And we also lost power. I just felt how slow it got at the top of the upside down wall right there. That does not happen in the four-wheel drive cars, the go-to cars like T20, Zentorno, Osiris, XA-21 for example. They do not have this issue. Yeah, it's getting totally slow and it spins out because I have to fight it. So yeah, that's like the big disadvantage the two-wheel drive cars have on stunt races, which is always an issue. It's basically a rule of thumb, stunt racing, you want to have four-wheel drive cars. So definitely also a fail on this one. Alright guys, so now we're doing the spiral test, which what I also said in the previous testing video of the SC-21 is a very telling test, because it's not about just whether it gets around a spiral. This is something people misinterpret often. They think I'm just seeing if it can wall ride or if it can go around a spiral. This is about whether it will generate the traction and acceleration needed going in there at a low speed, which basically happens in all types of races over and over again. I mean, this is just a standard situation that you can draw an analogy to all kinds of situations. If you're on a respawn in front of a stunt and you need to get up something steep, it's some kind of stunt or whatever, like this is what we can see from this test. If this car will then, with that low speed, have the power to get in there and get up there still, or if it just falls back and doesn't develop it. So this is what we're doing here. We're going in there at a low speed and we're going to see if it builds up that acceleration and that traction to still get up there. And this is also something the two-wheel drive cars traditionally do bad on, and the four-wheel drive cars, they just develop that power because the front wheels do help get the car up there and build up that traction and acceleration needed to get around the stunt safely. So yeah, let's go in at a low speed and see what it does. Nope, see, that's the rear-wheel drive problem again. I mean, going in here with full speed, that's a different matter again, you know, but there's a lot of races where you have a respawn which is close. We'll do it again one time very close, but it's not very promising here. No, it just doesn't build up that traction we're needing. So I need to do it with a small run-up. And if we got some speed going in there, I will get it, definitely. Not doing good here. Awkward. Alright, let's do it again quickly. But yeah, typical two-wheel drive problem, rear-wheel drive problem here. Unbelievably quick around the track, but not on the uphills ascending stuff. That's always again and again an issue with these cars, unfortunately. This is also if you're on long, big, cunning stunt props. When you're driving a long stunt, you will fall back in the end. It just will happen because the four-wheel drive cars, they maintain their speed, they build up the speed better on these long stunts. So now going down, like always, I will yank the steering very hard once I'm upside down, so I will fall out on purpose. I just want to see how quick the car spins out or if it maintains traction when I'm upside down and doing a harsh steering correction. So let's go. We yank the steering now, and yeah, it immediately went in the spin. Like this, for example, will not happen in the Zentorno. It will not spin out. It just maintains that traction. And this is, for example, something if you're if you got your line in the spiral, you'll be fine. But if you're going in there really quick, also you need to do an adjustment, a correction. That's when you're gonna spin out and fall out the spiral. So anytime you've got your line, anyways, you'll be good. But anytime you got to make a harsh correction, that's when these cars, yeah, here also, that's exactly the situation I meant. It was just a minor steering correction and it immediately goes into a spin. It doesn't have the traction anymore, so yeah, much better cars available on stunts like this. Zentorno, in my opinion, still the best. It's got a killer traction. Osiris 2 XA-21, but this is not your go-to car. Okay, guys, stop sending messages. It's a group message from Destiny. So yeah. All right, let's go on to the next test. Alright, guys, next test, crab sliding. This is a different race, but a crab slide is a crab slide. We want to see if the car can crab slide, so if it will grind on its side and stay up there consistently, that would be a good thing. If it will roll over on its roof, that's also going to be a good thing. And if it goes on its wheels, which is a bad thing. No, it goes on its wheel immediately. So you can't crab slide with it. You can't incorporate any type of stunt like this with it. So you can't ride on its side like the Adder, Infernus, Tempesta, for example, and it won't roll over on its roof like Osiris, T20s, and Torno, those cars. So yeah, not recommended for this type of stunt, or you just can't build anything with it. So yeah. Alright guys, so normally as last in this testing series, we always do Freaky League's Huge Loop Racing number 3. Unfortunately, that one's not open to sports class, so I cannot test it on it. With what I just did here, I just built a quick uphill thing, and I just want to show you the difference between the Pariah, for example, and then a decent four-wheel drive car. Now, I am testing this in stock vehicles, and I'm not going in with a lot of speed. This is just for demonstration purposes. It's in no way scientific, because I'm just starting from the starting grid, which you have to take into account. They have different initial accelerations and stuff like that. Like a proper way to test this would be to have the cars at top speed already entering the stunt. But anyways, this will serve as a demonstration of what will happen basically on any type of stunt. You can draw a direct analogy. So first up, we're going to do this in the Pariah and see what happens, how it does going up there. And after that, we're going to take a decent four-wheel drive car. That's very good in that regard. So here we go, Pariah. Stock cars, by the way, in the creator. We got to get all the way up there. So let's see if it will even do that. Because, like I said, going uphill right here, it will start to struggle with the rear-wheel drive. And that's it already. We're not even getting all the way up. Or, nope. Not getting up. So yeah. Let's switch over to the superclass, and I'll take an X80 Proto for this because that's actually very good in these uphill sections. It's got four-wheel drive and the most power in that regard. X80 Proto sucks basically on any other type of stunt. It's not a good car for stunt racing in general. If you're just doing like a cunning stunt race with some general tubes and stuff like that, then an X80 Proto can be good. But as soon as you're talking about real stunt races with dummy proofs and flips, the X80 Proto also, as you saw in my stunt test, will not do good. But just for uphill stuff, it is the most powerful. So let's go here, X80 Proto. Now you already see how it's got more speed, how we still got more speed than we previously had with the Pariah. So yeah, this one will just keep on going. It's also struggling up here, but we didn't have any issue with the four-wheel drive getting up at all. So yeah, in Freaky Leap's Huge Loop, I doubt that it would get around it. We might be able to test it at a later stage. I actually just wrote him a message an hour ago whether he'll still be online and if he can open it up to sports, but he's not online right now, so we unfortunately couldn't test that. I will test it at a later stage if he's going to change it or make a separate copy, but unfortunately we couldn't do it in time for this video here. It might get around it if it has enough initial speed, but I still really doubt it, because it's just the always reoccurring issue with these rear-wheel drive cars, that they just, once it gets steep and ascending, they don't have that power. So yeah, also kind of special stunt test here today, because It actually failed on a lot of the stunts, but if the more generic a track is, the less those stunt tests will matter. For those specific situations, if you're going into a wall ride race where it's going to be steep and ascending, you obviously saw it's not the best car for it. But then again, also, we compared it to the supercars, and we don't have such a direct comparison to the other sports cars. But like in general, if you have a lot of steep ascending stuff, take four-wheel drive cars like the Massacro, for example. That will do much better than any two-wheel drive car. So in total, I mean, absolute OP car here on the track. Really, really, really quick. Baffled by what Rockstar did there again. Like, I cannot understand what's going on there. But anyways, definitely the go-to car for sports. For just pure racing situations, it will always be the quickest in a straight line. It's not got the best traction. Like, Elegy will still have better traction, but this one would just make up for it in terms of acceleration and then also top line speed, because it is just the quickest vehicle in the game right now in terms of the normal cars, none of those special gimmicky cars with like rocket boosts and everything. So yeah, that's it. That wrapped up the stunt test. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I could help you make your decision. Although the thing is, you gotta buy this car anyways, because if you want to hold up in the sports racing class, you need this car now, period. That's what it is. And if you wind up in a stunt race, which is rather unlikely to happen, that you do end up in one of these situations that I was testing, then there's definitely better cars for most situations, because it is just a two-wheel drive car and has those flaws that all of those have in those situations. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, one more thing, if you're still watching, shout out by the way. But tomorrow I'll still have my upload of the hardest wall rides of December montage, which I'm still working on right now. It's a bit late. And then starting Tuesday I will be on vacation for 2 weeks. I still have my uploads though. I'm going to have an upload every day, and Race Day Wednesday is also going to be on. It's going to be hosted by Korax, Enigma Tim, and by Mad Mama, so check out their crew messages and everything for getting in the lobbies and all. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll check you guys tomorrow for Hardest Wall Rides, and I'm out. Peace.